It's time to get all set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics with your hosts, Scott Williams and Jeff Traylor.
When I hear the coffee brewing, I think, what the heck we doing? Because I got barely any sleep last night. As the diaper bag I pack with Hot Wheels dollies and some snacks, I say a prayer there'll be a seat in the crime room this time. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.
Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for Sunday Mass. My name is Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Scott.
How's it going, bud?
It's wonderful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's been the best part of your day? Was it when Father Roscoe came wearing pants?
Yes. I'm sorry. Are you wearing clerical pants?
Clerical suit. Thank you.
I was going to say the fact that Father Roscoe pilgrimaged from the north side of Indianapolis all the way down to see us. I do appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
It's a joy and an honor.
Is your church the furthest north church in the Archdiocese of Indianapolis?
That's a good question.
It feels like it?
It feels like it. We're kind of northeast, though. We're in this like little bubble of Geist that's really not near anything, but we're like a mile away from the border of the Diocese of Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Holy Spirit and Geist is like 5 minutes away from us. So I think most of our
You guys ever face off against each other and kind of snap and like
not really
West Side Story style?
I think most of our parishioners are actually Diocese of Lafayette.
Nice. That's how we get them. It would be funny if there were like more territorial battles between dioceses, but I don't know why. I would just find it entertaining. Yeah, just for fun. It'd just be entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. If parish boundaries don't matter anymore, let's make diocesan boundaries an issue.
Diocese of Indiana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just kidding. We don't want that.
No.
We would,
Seems like a lot of
mean,
work.
decently high tax bracket up there on the north side of Indiana. Wouldn't mind probably.
Yeah, if we could just take that one
taking a
beanery,
little bit of the curve.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on the matter.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's fair. No, you do look pretty cool in your suit, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We were just reminiscing about Father Vince Lampert's the new pastor at St. Simon. He was my pastor growing up.
And they're the best when you get to have those old memories.
Yeah.
And Father Vince is a goat. He's awesome.
Yeah, but he preaches with props, which is always fun, like as a kid.
Father Bill Marks also.
Yeah.
Prop preacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a guy. All right. What are we doing today? Are you ready for the 2-minute drill?
Sacred Scripture.
Yeah. I didn't bring any props today.
But if Father Vince was on the podcast, he might
He
bring
would have a
props.
prop.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be fun.
Maybe if
We should have
Father
him on the podcast.
if Father Roscoe does good, we'll just
Invite
give him props.
Wow.
Get it?
Oh, there we go.
A little play on words.
Just email exorcist@archindy.
He's not the
He's
exorcist
not anymore.
Oh, never mind.
He's been released of that.
Okay.
Exercised, if you will, of his duties.
Wow.
That's a weird prop, though.
Yeah.
I did have a school kid. He said I was doing question and answers with the various grades, and one of the kids wrote on the note card. He said, "Father Roscoe, when will you use a prop to make Mass interesting?"
It's a great question.
Well, I showed Father Vince, and he laughed. I laughed. I am
good.
a prop. I mean, that's just, my life is a prop.
Maybe this is your chance to bring your maniple out. Sorry.
I did use a prop once.
It's a
It was
throwback.
A picture of Pius X at the school Mass. I said, "This is what he looked like."
That's the most prop that you would. That's great.
It's pretty great.
You should bring an actual prop from like a boat and then do some
propeller.
sort of like boat analogy on one of the,
Well,
We're
I'm
in
gonna-
like old. We haven't even got to the 2-minute drill, but
Well, no,
like
but he brought up a boat. Well, we'll save that for the end.
Yeah,
We'll talk
okay.
about the boat at the end.
I was
Back to you, Jeff.
great.
Poor Father Christian.
Teaser. Hang on for the end of the episode to learn more. All right. 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. We're back to actually talking about the readings for the week after Father Jerry Bird last week. If you stuck through our whole episode last week with Father Jerry Bird, thank you. You're loyal and we appreciate you.
Father Bird preached my first Mass.
Yeah.
And
it's still done? Or
It's still going. Yeah, I just left.
I had another Mass to do. Oh, man. So our first reading comes
Every minute
from,
was good.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Worth
so
going
good.
back.
Yes.
It is. He's awesome.
All 52 minutes of that episode was good.
Did you cut out the banter, all the banter? All right. Our first reading comes from 2 Kings. So Naaman, I've done this before and I
Naaman.
never get it right. Naaman.
Just say it confidently.
He's a commander with a serious case of leprosy. And he finally listens to the prophet Elisha, I don't know. Alicia, sure. Bye, Alicia. He listens to Alicia's simple instructions that say, go wash 7 times in the Jordan. So he dips, he dunks, he washes, he emerges with skin smooth as a baby's bottom.
Does your thing actually say dips and dunks?
My notes do, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's overjoyed. And Naaman declares that there's no God but Israel. And in a generous twist, nice little plot twist at the end, he hauls home a pile of dirt so that he can always worship the holy ground that he was on when this happened. I love that idea of being like, this is like, you hear stories of people who like take chunks of like turf from a football field and they keep them, and there's stories out there about that kind of thing. But yeah, or like filling a little holy water bottle and taking it home with you.
Yeah,
from certain locations.
Anyway. The River Jordan.
Yeah, that would be appropriate in this one. Our responsorial psalm: the Lord has revealed to the nations His saving power. Meh. Coming off a banger last week, I was very excited about it. But our second reading, it's the theme this week is twos. So we had 2 Kings and 2 Timothy. So Paul is giving Timothy a pep talk, which is basically both letters to Timothy, or just pep talks from Paul. But he says, remember, Jesus Christ raised from the dead. So even if Paul's all chained up and the word of God can't be locked down, right? Paul may be locked up, but the Lord can't. He reminds us that if we die with Christ, we'll live with him. If we endure, we'll reign with him. If we deny him, he'll deny us. But the good news, even when we're wobbly, Christ stays faithful because he can't stop being himself. He's never going to stop being Christ for us. And then our gospel reading. Our gospel comes from Luke chapter 17, 11 to 19. As Jesus continued his journey to Jerusalem, he traveled through Samaria and Galilee. He was entering a village. 10 lepers met him. They stood at a distance from him, raised their voices, saying, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. And when he saw them, he said, go show yourselves to the priests. As they were going, they were cleansed. And one of them, realizing he had been healed, returned glorifying God in a loud voice, and he fell at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus said in reply, 10 were cleansed, were they not? Where are the other 9? But has none but this foreigner returned to give thanks to God? Then he said to him, stand up and go. Your faith has saved you.
All right. Did Jeff get anything wrong, Father Roscoe?
I don't think so. I think that was great.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
Good job.
You're welcome.
What are you preaching on this weekend?
Well, actually, I won't be preaching this weekend.
Oh, great.
There we are.
Super
Great.
I'll be on vacation. But if I were preaching, I can tell you what I'd say. I think it's kind of a softball about gratitude, right? It's kind of a classic gospel about gratitude. I think that it's one of those kind of stories, or even this isn't a parable, but sometimes it's a parable in the gospel that can sometimes make us uncomfortable. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, we had the story of Lazarus and the rich man, right? This narrative that Christ tells in the gospel. And what I preached about then is I said, well, you know, when we hear this story, it can almost make us so uncomfortable that we start to get defensive, right? We start thinking in our own mind about checking off the boxes. Oh, I'm not like the rich man because, you know, I gave a can of refried beans to the food pantry. You know, I care about poor people. And we start defending ourselves. But I think that the point of that story, and lots of times in the gospel where Christ is, you know, doing things or telling stories with a good guy and a bad guy, is to make us feel a bit uncomfortable. So in this case, when he heals the lepers, but only one comes back to say thank you, we are supposed to kind of sit with that for a second and think about, well, how am I showing gratitude in my life? Am I more like the one leper who comes back and says thank you? Or am I more like the others who don't and who just go about our business after we receive something from the Lord or from others? So it's an opportunity for us to pause and to ask ourselves, how is gratitude factored into my life? And I think that it's very important for us as Christians to build a habit of gratitude. First off, because it reminds us in our relationship with God that we don't save ourselves, right? That we rely on God, we rely on God's grace, we rely on all the things that the Lord does in our lives to bring us closer to him and to save us. And when we practice gratitude, thanking God for the gifts that he gives us, it reminds us of that. I also think that it's important to practice gratitude in our relationships with others because it makes us more aware, right, of the things that we're receiving from them. And so it's a reminder to us to practice this important virtue. If I were preaching, I'd probably hone in on one particular way to practice gratitude. And that is to practice gratitude after the reception of Holy Communion. I think that it's this was kind of a traditional pious practice for a lot of people. And some people are still very good about this, but it's kind of fallen by the wayside sometimes, that after we receive our Lord in Holy Communion, he's given us this great gift of himself, right? And he's dwelling in our hearts so that we can have communion with him. And so it's important for us not just to receive communion and then go on our merry way and not allow this encounter with God to change us, but to spend time with the Lord, to thank him for the gift of receiving him, and to commune with him, because we received communion to commune with God. And it can be a very simple thing of just spending a couple of minutes after Mass communing with the Lord, telling him thank you for this great gift of receiving him, and asking him to help you in whatever way you might need help. There's lots of prayers in our Catholic tradition that are for that, like Thanksgivings after Holy Communion. And it's required by canon law for priests. Priests are required by canon law to make a preparation before Mass and to make a Thanksgiving. So I think that's something that all of us, priest or not, should really try to make a practice in our life.
Interesting.
Yeah. My immediate thought was like, but what if the good donuts get picked over? No.
Where are our priorities?
Yeah. No, I agree. No, you're absolutely right in that. I was really struck there by things I should know. This is the best part about this podcast, is like things that I should know that I hear our priest say, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. But you talked about like we receive communion because we're in commune with God, however you said. But I've always thought about it as like, in my mind, it's always been like, oh, we're like all doing this together. That's the communion, the community, like the piece of. I've never really like processed that idea that like we do it as a community, but it is really about that direct.
And that is an aspect of receiving communion, right? Is where it's the communion of the church, but like that's subordinated to first and foremost my communion with Christ, right? We receive the Lord to be in communion with him.
Yeah.
Like literally dwelling within us, which is like the coolest thing. And I've always thought to myself, like, well, how long does Jesus stay there? Like, you receive communion, and like that's like the most holiest of times and like I don't know if there's like an efficacious meter of like prayers are more efficacious after receiving communion, but like how long is that? That's a dumb question,
No,
but I'm going to ask it.
No, it's a pretty good one.
I think it's a good question. Properly speaking, like sacramentally, the Lord is inside of us as long as the accidents of bread or wine remain. So once the accidents of bread or wine break down in our stomach acid, or whatever it might be, the physical presence of the Lord is not there. But I think that we don't want to focus too much on that.
Somebody told me once 15 minutes. You think that's about right?
The saints usually say 10 or 15 minutes after receiving communion, there's like this special time with the Lord. So that's usually what I tell people, like the 10 or 15 minutes after you're receiving communion. And of course,
that ain't getting me to the end of Mass.
No, the majority of that is during Mass.
We got because we got to clap for the choir. We got to do all kinds of ridiculous things. There's announcements. I might have to sit down for a presentation.
The third homily.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes. I'm holding my tongue. But generally speaking, for those 10 or 15 minutes after communion, if you read the saints, they say like there's a lot of. That's a powerful time for prayer for us. And I think that you could probably push that on the end of Mass, even like 10 minutes after Mass. Now, I'm not saying we should all spend I don't usually spend 10 minutes after Mass, but I think a couple of minutes is doable for most people, just to say thank you. When I was an altar server, we actually learned by heart this act of thanksgiving that we all prayed together. So at the end of Mass, we'd put the candles out, we'd do all the stuff we needed to do, and then we would line up around the tabernacle, all of us kneeling, and we'd say this quick prayer. And I think that was a good habit that stuck with me.
Will you say the prayer?
You want me to say the prayer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting here thinking about it.
My dearest Jesus, I thank thee with all my heart for coming to me and nourishing my soul with thy sacred body and most precious blood. I thank thee for all the graces and blessings I've ever received through the merits of thy sacred passion, and through the institution of the most holy sacrament of the altar. With the help of thy grace, I will endeavor to manifest my gratitude to thee, by greater devotion to thee in the sacrament of thy love, by obedience to thy holy commandments, by fidelity to my duties, by kindness to my neighbor, and by an earnest endeavor to become more like to thee in my daily conduct. Blessed be thy holy name. O sacrament most holy, O sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, that's awesome. You define quick prayer differently than I do. But
well, that was like Father McCarthy speed. So
no,
we say it quick.
No, I was just like, I thought it was just going to be like really? 4 lines, and
wow.
No, it's awesome though. That's a great prayer.
But I say that almost every day after I say mass.
Yeah.
So
no, and you've been doing it since you were an altar server, I imagine. Like,
that's really good.
Yeah, and then you became a priest, so it might be good.
Yeah,
one might work.
More people do that one.
Yeah.
I along these same lines, my family and I, we sit pretty close to the front. I was kneeling after communion and, saying that exact same prayer you were saying. It was different. It was more like, thank you, Jesus. But I was also like watching people receive communion.
I just caught that you were like saying that prayer you were saying.
Yeah.
In your own word. And these are similar words.
Yes. And I just caught this glimpse of this man that like had this look of fear on his face because he was just given the Eucharist and didn't know what to do with it. And it was like
First communion.
So like I watched him, and like I'm also know well enough to like keep watching him if that's the case. So he walks back to his pew, and I was like, all right, I think this guy is like panicking. So I just went back there and I just like very kindly said, hey, if you're not, and I can't remember exactly what I said, but like if you're not in a position that you are able to receive, I'd be glad to receive that for you. And he was like, okay, yes, thank you. And then
Wow.
so but one, like somebody gave him the Eucharist, and probably wasn't following social cues and things like that.
He was following social, just
yeah, he
didn't pay attention to the
inadvertently
cross your arms across your chest and a blessing.
Yeah.
Maybe
And so he didn't know, the extraordinary minister of Holy Communion didn't know. But it was something that I observed, and I just felt like I should do something. But then at the same time, like, so I received that, and I think that's probably the best thing to do. I
you did the right thing.
Go back to my pew. But then I was like, man, what a weird, like, that's probably the first time that guy's been to mass. And I just probably gave him the weirdest experience that he's ever had going to mass. So like after mass, I was just like, I got to go talk to this guy. Like, so I went, I was like, hey, I just want you to know, like, you're very welcome here. And I don't know what I just want you to know that, like, here to support you. Yeah. And then it turns out like he was invited by somebody that was an RCIA to come to mass for the first time because he was interested in Jesus and the church. And that was his first experience at mass. But yeah, I thought that was like a really wild thing. But
well, I think you did the right thing in following up.
I didn't screw up. Okay, cool.
I think that you actually,
Check.
I think what you did was helpful to him because it showed him, belief in the real presence. Like it's not just, it's God. So like we have to be careful when who is receiving and how we're receiving. So I think you showed reverence and respect. And yeah, I don't think it was a weird experience at all. I think if he thinks about it, and he allows the Lord to work through it, there'll be.
I would imagine he has a lot of gratitude towards you.
Yeah.
See how I did that?
I'm just hoping it wasn't like too awkward of a scenario that he doesn't come back again.
That's fair.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
Well, you've also like, I think a worse experience to just like see it and ignore it and let somebody consume it or stick it in their pocket or so, like, because then the experience is, well, what is this thing? And nobody seems to mind, and I can do it, I don't know. I think, and the follow-up piece being key, I think that was very prudent of you to like recognize that. And like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Because it could be easy to just like high five yourself and be like, got it. Save the Eucharist.
Hero.
No, but yeah. Listen, I don't know. People throw around the word hero, but yeah.
story for the canonization.
No, but like, yeah, I also found myself thinking there, like, man, you extended your 15-minute window there.
It probably would have been best to probably give it to the priest, but that's going to be hard to do.
But then you're making a real public spectacle of like whatever's going on. Like we just, not that this is the road we're going down, but we were just having this conversation the other night, a group of Catholics sitting around talking about, when we've seen people receive the Eucharist and then like they realize that they're not supposed to have this and they're not sure what to do. But, somebody was telling the story about like getting on a bus one time after mass with, people, and one of the people that got on the bus was like, man, did you guys all get one of these too? And just like held up and he was like, I'm going to need that, please. Thank you. And then she was like, hey, had a very similar conversation that helped do that. But I remember when I was teaching the sacraments, talking about the real presence and like why we don't just want anybody to go receive this, and like that we do want everyone to receive it, but we want them to understand it and know the meaning and everything and what you do in these situations. And I'll never forget, it's one of the moments I was like most proud of a student, is having a student tell me after our first all school mass, they said, Mr. Traylor, there was somebody who was sitting a couple rows above me, and when we got back from communion, they were like, hey, what am I supposed to do with this? And they were like, I didn't know what to do. And I just went, and then I grabbed it and ate it. And I was like, there are other ways you could have done it, but I like it. I like your energy. I like the purpose of what you're doing. Like,
to make sure reverence.
Yeah. But also we're like wanting to come tell me so I could go talk to that student and help them understand anyway.
Yeah.
But
it reminds me, this was just like a couple of weeks ago. I was on eBay, and there was this guy who was selling this old mass kit from like World War II or something. And I'm clicking through the pictures, and in the mass kit on the paten is a host.
Oh,
and it's like broken in half. I'm hoping it wasn't consecrated. I mean,
by now,
but who? I mean, it was a host, so there's no way. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I need to do something. So I messaged the guy and I said, I'm a priest, and I explained it, and I said, can you please take? Or first, I asked him, is this host consecrated? And if it is, even if it's not, either way, because you might not know, you need to take that to your local Catholic priest as soon as you can. And he responded back and he said, okay, I will. And he took it and he gave it to, I hope, to the local Catholic priest. And then that priest would have been able to consume it, or do, you can dissolve in special situations, dissolve in water, and but
put down the
aquarium after it's dissolved. But and then he said, thank you for messaging me, and can you pray for me for this, and this intention?
Great.
So it was just a good experience. But every time I hear stories like that or see that, my heart just goes, oh
yeah.
Yeah, I prefer hearing those ones other than
good ones.
People will just be like, "Oh, I think I just saw somebody get First Communion." I'm like,
"Yeah, well, this was a huge problem at the Vatican. People would come to papal masses and then they would like try to take the Eucharist as souvenirs, and so it was such a problem that the Vatican stopped allowing communion in the hand because they said this is happening so much. You have to receive on the tongue." But yeah, it's something to be aware of.
Yeah. Well, Scott, I'm grateful that Father Roscoe joined us today.
Me too. You got any dumb questions?
I got a few down here. First off, the experience I'm having of Father Roscoe today, like pants, suit, jacket. I know we're giving him a hard time, but here's the other thing I need everybody to know is Father Roscoe walked in here with a pumpkin spice latte as well. I looked down and saw it on the side, and I wrote down PSL and underlined it because he's a basic white girl.
I'm not.
But he is here
as soon as you put on a clerical suit, you have to get
a pumpkin spice latte. But I'm just like, what a wild experience here today with Father Roscoe. But man, the North Side has changed you.
The North Side has just changed me.
You're different, and you take the guy out of the South Side, he's never coming back. But no, I just wanted to I didn't even have a question about that. I just wrote down PSL and was like, I have to say this.
So I'm lactose intolerant, so it has oat milk. So that makes it even better.
That is the most North Side you could have gone with that. I love it. No offense, North Siders. I'm a North Sider. Anyway, I
get you licensed to.
Yeah, I can say it.
I got one.
We
talked about holy water from special places.
Yeah.
Is holy water more special in special places than other special places? Or is the holy water at my baptismal font same holiness as Lourdes?
Wow. I don't think it's helpful to quantify holiness. The Lord's water actually is not holy water. So the Lord's water is this kind of special water from this spring that Our Lady has, given us. But strictly speaking, Lord's water is not holy water. So Lord's water, unless a priest blesses it. So I went to Lord's once and I got water and then it was blessed. So then it becomes holy water. But until then, it's just Lord's water. I don't think it's helpful to quantify these things, but like some water might have special significance.
We didn't say be helpful. We said quantify it.
I'm not refusing to quantify, but I will say there are different types of blessings of holy water. So like there's there's the blessing of baptismal water. There's the blessing of baptismal water at the Easter Vigil, which is like even more special.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Epiphany blessing of holy water, which takes like 45 minutes, which is really special holy water. So like, yeah, it has like kind of a special power. This is a whole rabbit hole of things. It has to do with sacramentals and not sacraments. So like the sacramentals, we get what we ask for, right? Mm-hmm. So there are some blessings that are longer than other blessings, and those blessings ask for special things. So, I mean, it's not like the sacraments where they're ex opere operato, by the work worked, but sacramentals are ex opere operantis, which is different. So
operantis.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the largest volume of water that you can make
Scott's
holy?
asked this multiple times and I love it. I knew it was coming too.
I would say it has to be a very fixed amount. So potentially you could get pretty big. I don't think it's possible to bless the ocean.
Okay.
But
a swimming pool, not out of the question.
I mean, if that was the intention of the priest, when you're blessing something, you have to intend what you're blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a specific body of water, that's not just like an ocean or something or a river. Yeah, it could be blessed.
Can you bless the same amount of water that like the Archbishop can?
For holy water, yeah, I don't think there's any restrictions. I mean, there are some blessings that are traditionally reserved to either a bishop or the Pope and such, but holy water, as far as I'm aware, is not. So,
can I challenge you with your fixed blessing? I one time was at Father MacArthur was with me. Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it, at World Youth Day, and it was raining, and a guy, you might have heard of him, Pope John Paul II. He came out and and blessed the water as holy water.
The rainwater?
Yep. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it stopped raining almost immediately. And then it, like, by the end of Mass, it was like, I tell people all the time, if I've ever witnessed a miracle, that was it. It was unbelievable.
I'd say he's the Pope. Anyway. He's got supreme jurisdiction. So if he says it's blessed, it's blessed.
And saint. I mean,
he's a saint. Yeah. I'm not going to try to figure out how that works, but if he said it,
man, I was hoping you'd
for
say
all
no.
the water. And
yeah, no, it was like he offered. Maybe it wasn't even holy water. It was like a special baptismal blessing.
Maybe it was reminding us of our baptism.
Yeah, it was like how he opened Mass with. I just remember Father McCarthy specifically telling us, like, "Hey, this is a different way to like. He's doing this because he said he's doing this because of the holy water." And anyway, it was cool. Okay. Sorry, I just keep looking at PSL on here. You said you're going on vacation. Where are you headed?
I'm going to Italy.
Shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Where to? If you want to share.
Sure. Yeah. The first part I'm going to be in Rome, and then the second half I'll be staying with some sisters near Lake Bolsena, which is just north of Rome.
Wonderful.
Kind of near Orvieto, the famous Eucharistic miracle.
Which one is that?
Orvieto is a beautiful.
The Eucharistic miracle.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one. It actually didn't happen in Orvieto. It happened in Bolsena, which is the lake is named after that town. But if I remember the story correctly, the priest was saying Mass and he was doubting the real presence. And then the host started bleeding. And then it bled onto the corporal. And then if I remember the story correctly, they processed with that host, I guess, to Orvieto, to the cathedral there, to the bishop. And then that corporal has been preserved and is on display in the Cathedral of Orvieto.
Wow.
I've seen it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a cool
town. Orvieto,
it's a really cool town. It's like up on top of a mountain. It's one of the few like unconquered towns in Italy during that time because it was like so hard to get to. Mm-hmm. So don't do the walk up. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a beautiful town and the cathedral is amazing.
I can't. I've been to Italy several times, but never to Orvieto. So I'm excited to be there.
It was a like, we were on a trip where it was like a random stop. Like our tour guide just was like, "Hey, we have some extra time. Do you guys want to stop at this place?" And it was because he knew somebody there that had a restaurant, and we ended up in Orvieto. And it's something I think about all the time.
I don't think I've ever been to a place that had a Eucharistic miracle displayed.
I think that's my one.
Really?
Is there any in the United States?
Not that I'm aware of in the U.S. There's another one in Siena. If you go to Siena in the Basilica of St. Francis, there's a Eucharistic miracle. Although that one is interesting. It's not that like a host bled or turned into flesh, but the hosts have been miraculously preserved.
That's what I was thinking of.
So
Okay.
that one, but I've been to that one. I think there are a couple others that might be elsewhere, but I can't think of.
I think there's
top of my
one.
head.
There's one outside. We should, if only there was a saint that had made a website about all these.
That has
Yeah,
all
because-
listed.
No, there. I said that I've only been to one, but I believe I went to a second site on a trip to Italy as well. But now I can't remember exactly what it is. But
Because I think that one that you mentioned isn't always on display.
No,
I think
Not
it's
always,
kind of
but
like
yeah.
Lanciano, that's the other one. Lanciano
which is
in Italy.
where in Italy?
I
It's
have
in
no
Lon.
idea.
Okay,
I know of it from reading about it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Eucharistic Mary schools are cool.
yeah, that's cool.
but we'll
Check out
also-
Blessed Carlo's website. if
Yeah,
you-
absolutely. But we'll also be. I'm going with some other priests. We're renting a boat one day, so we're going to be boating on
on a
Lake
boat.
Bolsena.
There's your prop.
Yeah, my prop.
I think there's real opportunity there.
Any priests that we know? Do you not want to air out who's going? Who you're going with?
All priests that you know, all
Oh.
who have been on this podcast,
All.
all
As
of them
of-
have been.
So Father McCarthy,
Last
Father
week.
Dufresne.
I don't know. I don't know if they'd want me to say on air if they're
Oh,
going,
no.
but
Got it.
I'm sure they don't care. It's Father. Yeah, Father.
And
McCarthy.
someone last week told us that he was going to Italy.
Oh yeah, Father Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a wild.
Is it just the
time.
four of you?
It is. Yeah.
All right, Father Roscoe, you're not a large man,
I am not.
but you will be traveling with three very large men, and I'm so you're going to need to really like puff your chest out and really own your space on this trip. Otherwise, don't let them bully you. Don't let it happen.
Well, I'll be driving the boat, so
Are you the captain?
I'm going to be the captain of the boat. I'm renting the boat.
Please, just start yelling, "I am the captain" now.
I have a captain's hat if you want to borrow it.
Yes,
I do too.
yes.
Yeah.
I think I need a.
Oh,
captain's
we
hat.
should absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
That's
We'll
awesome.
take a picture.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's three big fellas and you. Yeah.
Okay, big boat. Big boat.
Yeah. I hope it's, yeah, you all have to sit in the middle. All right. Sorry, fathers. I don't think any of them listen.
They're
So
not-
they're-
none of them listen.
Mrs. Dufresne, if you can tell Father Dufresne that we were making these jokes so that he'll listen, it'd be great. Thank you. All right. All right. And, I think, have we had you on since your big move north?
No.
No, we were talking about it.
No.
How was the move? How are things?
It was awesome. Yeah.
You enjoying St. Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely am enjoying St. Simon. I still miss being at St. Jude. I
Oh.
miss the people there and miss being in Greenwood because I was so close to home. My family lives right there. But yeah, I really enjoy St. Simon. It's a great parish, a gigantic school. It's the
Mhm.
biggest school in the archdiocese.
Oh wow.
740 students, preschool through 8th grade. And the preschoolers, I usually have the morning mass. So the preschoolers are always arriving as I'm walking to the confessional. So it's always cool to say hi to them. But yeah, it's been great.
All right. We'll connect off air, but my niece goes to St. Simon.
Really?
Yeah, you could give me some really cool like uncle points
Okay.
if you can find her and say hi to her and chat with her and tell her that she calls me Uncle Fart Face. It's a very funny thing that we do. But
Uncle fart face.
she
Wow.
she was having a real bad day one day and like breaking down and I said, and she was going to see her cousins. And I said, you tell your cousins, I said, they're fart faces. And she lost it and thought it was the funniest thing. And now that's what she calls me.
She's in
Yeah.
preschool.
Or kindergarten.
kindergarten?
She's in kindergarten. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
We have a parish puppet. It's very exciting.
Oh, is his name Simon?
No, his name is Oscar.
Oscar.
Oscar the puppet.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't know that. All right.
It was a new puppet. Do you want to know the story behind the puppet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Father Vince was telling a story at our staff meeting one day about this priest when he was
Does he use props in your staff meetings too?
what we did today because we had Oscar. When he was a seminarian, he was assigned to a parish that shall not be named, and there was a priest who would come in when he was the seminarian to do the school mass. I don't know why he would come in to do the school mass, but he would. And he had a puppet. The puppet was like a sock puppet named Oscar. And, come time for the homily, he'd pull the puppet out from under the ambo and be like, "Hello, boys and girls, this is Oscar." So Father Vince was telling the story because it's hilarious.
It is.
disclaimer, none of us have ever or will ever use the puppet at Mass. But he kept telling the story, so I went on Amazon and bought a puppet. So then I brought it to the staff meeting today, and now we have a parish puppet. Everybody loves it.
Awesome. Real missed opportunity here for you not to have been like, well, I'm actually not preaching this weekend because Oscar is.
I'll bring Oscar next time.
That'd be great. This would be great, actually, if I could feed you some info about my niece, and then you can go into the classroom with Oscar, and Oscar can just start talking specifically to her. Should that be funny?
Oscar
anyway, all right.
There you have it.
Well, thank you, Father.
You're welcome.
This has been great. Yeah. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.